Hello everybody, I'm starting a multi-purpose series here on YouTube that will talk about endgames, endgame principles, but also I'll be showing you some interesting positions that we will try to convert against the bots on chess.com. For example, here we will try to convert this position against the bot GothamChess. He's a strong player probably, but we will see. If we can beat GothamChess, then we can try it against higher level players, maybe against Nakamura, and maybe against the top engine on chess.com. Because if the position is won, then you should be able to convert it against really stronger players. At least I believe my skills are established enough for me to be able to do it. But again, sometimes I will fail and we will learn together in such cases. So this series is also about the rest is technique kind of a series, which is very neglected in chess, right? You often have some books, okay, so black resigned in this position, and you don't know exactly how the game would continue in a grandmaster level. You're sometimes, right, lacking this training when it comes to converting an advantage in chess. But we know practically as chess players as well, right, that one of the most difficult things in chess is to convert a winning position. So for this, I came up with so many interesting training positions that while I'm trying to convert those against engines, I will also think out loud. I will tell you exactly what's going on in my mind, and then we will check after the game with the engine again to see whether I was right or wrong, or whether there could be some improvement. And you will tell me on YouTube your comments and your ideas, and maybe you will create some winning plans that were different and maybe more efficient than mine. Okay? Obviously, I will also give you some instruction in this series. We'll talk about endgame principles like the king's activity, right? Zugzwang, the passed pawns, and the weaknesses. While I'm also going to, again, practically show you some training positions. Okay? So take this position. That's our first training game of this series. Well, that's a famous game of Jan Timman with the black pieces. So let's try to convert this position against the GothamChess. What are you seeing? First of all, you can already think for yourself here. How would you convert this position with the black pieces? And that's a beautiful part of endgames, folks. Some endgames really allow us to have long-term plans. We can give tasks to our pieces. We can establish even like a long plan unhindered in some endgames, right? We can make plans in the endgames, improving our pieces, because it's simplified. The opponent doesn't have so many resources to create chaos. Of course, we should be always careful in calculations, but some endgames are also like strategic endgames. For example, like conceptual endgames, right? You basically have schematic thinking, for example. Hey, my pieces belong there. I will put that piece there, my king there, and that's my winning plan. Yes, we are formulating a winning plan here for black. I want you to verbalize the winning plan. Before you start looking at moves, I want you to take a step back and verbalize it. Put it in the words, please. What is your winning plan? Folks, the king is a very strong piece in the endgame. You know it. So my king needs to get involved in this game. And can you see also what I'm seeing in this position in terms of my king's activity? Obviously, my king has no entry squares around on the king side, so I have to move the guy somewhere on the queen side, right? Yes, that's my winning plan. So my winning plan is to get my king somewhere over here and then do one critical move that I want you to see already from here and formulate your winning plan. Why don't I want to move my knight over there? Can you see one of the dangers behind moving that knight? Or maybe you can tell me, for example, what do you think about this knight? Yes, this knight's an excellent piece because by hitting on those weaknesses, this knight is tying down the white king. The white king cannot play any role in his endgame. Also, look at this. Knight is also stopping all kind of bishop g5 shenanigans, because after takes, this pawn could be dangerous in some settings, but not here because my knight will stop that h pawn. It's a beautiful piece. So I want to keep my knight there, but move my king instead. So I go king d7. GothamChess plays bishop d2. Well, it's a poor move, but the bishop has no other great options. Look how limited the white bishop is in this pawn structure, right? And that's also interesting because all of our pawns almost are on the dark squares. Look at those pawns, pawn structure. But in this case, they are not weak. because they cannot be attacked by the white's bishop. So this bishop is a limited piece. So let's go and follow this plan, folks. I'm following my plan to its conclusion. And can you guess my next move? Obviously, we were going for b5. If white will take, my king will take, and I will invade the queen side on c4. That will be game over. So GothamChess just waits. So here comes my question to you, folks. Do you think we should take the pawn on c4, or should we do something else? You tell me. What would be the right technique? Folks, I don't think taking on c4 is good, right? Because this way you're actually limiting yourself. You can no longer use that c4 square for your king. And for example, after bishop b2, right? How would you make progress? Because you cannot also push your pawn that easily, although maybe you can sacrifice it, obviously. But, right, this is also limiting our choices. So what are you seeing? What else is there in the position? You tell me. You tell me a couple of candidate moves. Should we, for example, go a3? Or should we go b4, right? Suddenly you need to generate more candidates, obviously. Do you think b4 is good? You tell me. But if you go b4 takes, you want to capture rack with the pawn or with the king? That's an important question, right? Yeah, I would say both ways is fine. Taking back with the pawn obviously needs more calculation because you then need to look at moves like c5 followed by takes, bishop takes e5, right? It can get a little bit messy. So take a step back, and I will also think through, by the way, how can I beat this GothamChess guy? He's a very strong player, of course. So he's up to some tricks here. Let's see. Let's see. If I go a3, that's also a good move because I want to slowly improve my king and I want to take away the square from the bishop. a3 actually looks like a beautiful move in hindsight because the bishop is really, really buried on a1. In fact, I will go a3, folks. Yeah, the king has to give way, you see. The king has to give way because the bishop has no moves left, unfortunately. Yeah, so I take on e4. I go back to the square. I guess the end is very near, folks. The end is very near. I will also take on g4. I can take all the pawns, actually. Let's play like this, folks. He's playing very fast. I hope that everything is under control. Well, why don't I just push the pawn to promotion? What do you say? What do you say, folks? Pushing the pawn all the way to promotion. Let's calculate. Let's calculate. Yes, the bishop cannot really come and stop the pawn, right? As far as I can calculate. And if c4 check, I will take on c4 and there's no bishop c3. So as long as you make sure that this is the case, I think my pawn is running, folks. Yes. c4 I take, thank you so much. Yes, you have this move, but my knight can stop that pawn, right? That will be easy. Oh, he's tricky. He's tricky. Look at this. That was a tricky move. And he keeps playing. I don't understand this. I don't understand this. Okay, Gotham. Why don't you resign? Why don't you resign, Gotham? He's very stubborn, you know. Should I make 4 queens? Alright. I'm making 4 queens against... Oh boy. Okay. Find mate in 2. Or what? Check. Check. No, wait. Okay, it's not going to a mate, yeah? Okay. Check. No, he's escaping. What kind of a technique is this? Check. Check. And checkmate. Okay. Well, it took me a long time to mate with 4 queens. That's incredible. So let's analyze this endgame, folks, and go step by step. Again, the king's activity was the most important, right? So I have to activate my king, and you have to formulate the plan. You have to verbalize this plan, right? All the way to a5, b5, my king will take, and I will invade through c4, and then my pawn will promote. This is the fundamental lesson. Your king has no business on e7. Your knight is excellently placed on f6, so you need to move the king up. And that's a beautiful winning plan, which white cannot even prevent. So let's see if I was on the right track, yeah? So king d7, bishop b2, we can follow the evaluation bar. I don't think I made a big mistake here. b5 was also correct. Of course, if he takes on b5, as I mentioned, right, king c4 is coming and the game will be over. Bishop a1. I was curious about this position, actually. Like, We could take on c4, we could go b4, right? There's like a clear fork in this position, clear branch. And what would you say? What would you say? For example, should we ask Mr. Stockfish about the evaluation here? Yeah, apparently I was on the right track. a3 is the best move. b4 was also winning, right? Obviously. And after this, both ways are winning. But c takes b4, yeah, this was more complex, right? I told you. And suddenly you're allowing c5. And this, of course, yeah, I mean, you're still winning after a3 followed by b3 and b2. But why do you even need to calculate, all these moves? Obviously, your knight is an excellent spot, right? But you need to calculate some lines, like you will take on f6 followed by d7, for example, right? Of course, knight d7, black is still competitive winning. But to my mind, right, talking about technique in the endgame, maybe instead of b4, a3 is much more cleaner. This was my choice in the game, and I'm sort of proud of this, because the problem is the same for white. If they take on b5, then your king invades, and you will win the game like this. That's easily understandable. After a3, there is no moves left with the bishop, so the king has to give way, and my knight will capture one of these pawns. So that was the game continuation. I took on a4, this, king d3. I was so greedy, I was taking all the pawns, allowing some activity to the white king. Takes. Yeah. Here there was a nice calculation, although there was no need to give all the pawns, of course, but I thought, this is the most clinical. If I can push the pawn to the promotion, and of course I was supposed to see, right, c4 followed by maybe bishop d4 returns, but there's no way for white to achieve this, so my pawn is just going to promote to a queen. And as far as I could see that, there's no reason for me to not to play it. Bishop takes e5 was a nice try, because he's actually getting a passed pawn in this position, although I can of course refuse the offer and take on d5. But since I saw that knight f6 was sufficient, I played this move without much thinking, because I will make a queen, and there she goes. Thank you so much, Gotham. That was a good resistance that you offered. Folks, now we just beaten GothamChess. Let's make it more difficult. Let's play against the maximum bot on chess.com with a rating of 3200, right? Superhuman. But if the position is winning, we'll be able to convert theoretically against any creature in the world, right? I'm trusting my abilities to convert this position against this superhuman engine. Well, let's see. Let's see if I can do it. You know the winning plan. We have this good, beautiful winning plan. Of course, I'll be very careful, because in winning positions, we have to be super careful. Super careful. All right. Here goes bishop d2. Again, giving me this additional option of pushing directly. I don't see anything bad with this. Okay. Thank you so much for the bishop. All right. That's actually was easier than GothamChess, no? I mean, Gotham played much stronger, it seems. What is going on here? What is going on, engine? I don't get this. I don't get this. That was super easy. Again, the idea is that the position is already winning, so it doesn't really matter, maybe, yeah? He understands that will be lost. So don't make stalemate. Can I not use my knight somehow? That was a shame. It was a boring mate, yeah? We beat the super engine. It was easy, right? It was very easy because, well, the winning plan is clear, folks, right? The winning plan is clear. As long as you formulate this beautiful winning plan, white has no business. White has no way to challenge us, and you can use different methods. In this case, that was easy to convert it against the engine. Folks, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Again, we are just at the beginning. This was the first episode. Please give me feedback so we can improve the series. The idea, as I said, is multi-purpose. We are both learning and navigating the endgame maze by general principles, weak pawns, the king's activity, zugzwang, pass pawns. I will show you so many instructive positions. I have so many instructive ones in my database. So while I'm presenting you those, we will talk about winning plans. We will talk about technique and how to convert a winning position while also playing against those bots on chess.com to make it more fun and engaging. And you'll also see my human side, that sometimes I will fail, sometimes I will make stupid mistakes, and yet chess is such a beautiful and rich game. We will learn tremendously with this training, folks. Thank you so much, and I will catch you on the next episode. Bye bye.